Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, YouTube. Thank, thank you, subscribers and viewers of this video. Thank you, YouTube, again. Alhamdulillah, I'm here again for this rework of my Part 1 to Environmental Quality Act introduction for you, for the interpretation of the law in practice. This is the first part of my video produced like half a year ago. I conceded to rework this to ensure smooth and to make it shorter and more for a better apprehension and especially comprehension of this particular introduction of the law. Now, I am here for this first part to give you an introduction to this particular law, which is a legislation for the judicial processes involving environmental matters in Malaysia. And why we are here, this is the first part. You will see subsequent videos being uploaded in detail of all the subsidiary regulations that will come in and follow on videos after this. And the reason we have this is for the fact that I believe there are many out there who wants to know about this law, but normally training involving environmental law would be lengthy if you need people to understand everything. And what I do is I cut all these provisions of this particular law, and I will cover like three main important regulations mostly enforceable by the agency in sequence and orders that you are able to view the videos not for too long. So we are here, as you could see from the aim and objective, is to understand the interpretation. So this video is supposed to be the first video for the entire array of my publications on this environmental law. What we would cover, of course not in this video, in subsequent video, all these regulations, as you could see. The first one is the Clean Air Regulations 2014, which involves air pollutants, basically from various sources, especially industries. The Clean Air Regulation is talking about the installation of air pollution control equipment, the emission standards based on types of industry. It is a very good regulation. It is, I would say, the best environmental law I have ever read and worked with for my entire experience since 1984 until this day. So please check this Clean Air Regulations video if you are interested. If you have scrubber, dust collector, electrostatic precipitator, in all other emissions, perhaps from non-point sources like ambient air pollutants, etc. Okay, and also we will cover in this particular series of environmental law that I have published, actually, industrial effluent from the wastewater of certain types of industries discharging wastewater. And also we will be talking about sewage regulation 2009, the same year, with affluent, talking about wastewater coming from toilets, coming from housing estates, etc. These are all sewage, and we'll look into what the law requires as far as compliance is concerned. And also not forgetting schedule waste regulation, which is a law in this country that governs, that restrict, that control what? Toxic and hazardous waste from especially industrial origin. Okay, so these are the four main, most important, most sought after regulations and most applied regulations in the Malaysian, I would say, developing activities. Okay, and I don't include in here like EIA order and all those. Those are of a different enforcement region. Those terms and conditions in EIA would normally include all this, compliance of all these or some of these regulations, as you could see. All right, and what shall we look at is the definition of Environmental Quality Act. This law is designed to prevent, abate, and control pollution. I have given elaborate explanation normally in face-to-face training, but not in this video. But let me give you a brief, the gist of this particular intention of the law. It is meant to prevent. What does it mean? This law has provisions that enable both the industrial player and also the government agency and also other government agencies and institutes who would work together to prevent the occurrence of environmental impact from any project, any development that is subscribing to the environmental quality, environmental impact assessment order. There are certain activities based on this EIA order which require the project proponent to submit what is called EIA report and to seek approval from various agencies. The main agency is, of course, the DOE, and there are other various agencies, like 17 to about 20 other agencies, who would read those reports and give comment whether to second or to approve or to recommend that project or not to, or otherwise to the DOE, who would finally give the EIA approval. So that is prevention, whereby the project is not yet ongoing, not even started. Only when the EIA is approved by normally the DOE with terms and conditions, and also they work together in a committee comprising of the various government agencies, especially the state government agencies, all right, who would approve the project. Only then the project proponent would start to develop that particular project based on compliance to the approved EIA. Okay, and the second intent of this law is to stop pollution abatement. There are cases when projects, existing activities, could be industrial activities, could be any activities that is apprehendable by any of the regulations in this particular law within the power of the DOE, which has caused evident pollution and has caused complaints, for example, or other form of evidence. It could be medical evidence, it could be evidence from mass media, etc., that it is really causing pollution to that extent comprehensible, viewed by those authorities. Then they are able, they have instruments under certain regulations of this particular law, the power to stop that particular activity or process, thereby stopping the emission or the release of those pollutants into the environment and affecting all other bioreceptors who were affected prior this. So there's a provision in this particular law to stop pollution. And also, this particular law has got other subsidiary regulations empowering the agency to ensure that activities subscribing to those various regulations, respectively, to perform or to design or to install pollution control equipment or methodologies or techniques in order to prevent or to reduce or probably to eliminate the emission and releases of environmental pollutants. So there's a provision over there in this particular main act, which is the Environmental Quality Act. It has got all those various subsidiary regulations as shown earlier. So thereby, with that in mind, let me just give some history of this particular environmental law called Environmental Quality Act. It started actually in the late 60s and early 70s when Malaysia was then facing a pollution problem, namely it is water pollution involving various rivers in this country due to the release of effluent coming from the palm oil mill that started. It was significant, and that started Malaysia with the involvement of few other bodies, some are international bodies, to promulgate a law which is called the Environmental Quality Act. And those laws began with the palm oil activities, actually, prescribed premises, rubber, mills or SMR, latex concentrate manufacturing are all governed under prescribed premises regulations. 1977, if I'm not mistaken, for palm oil mill and for rubber. So that is the inaugural early entry into force of the Malaysian environmental law, then controlling the emissions or discharges of effluent from palm oil mills and rubber mills. Okay, and then the law expanded. It improved, and new laws are added, as you could see, the amendments. 1976 right up to 2014, and there'll be a few more coming up. All right, and that is the milestone of this law. And well, the most significant amendment was in 1996. This is a real evolution, and we have got open burning issue. There's a law deterring, prohibiting open burning when we have got another issue on the CFC, the Montreal Protocol. Malaysia ratified the convention and came back to the country to have a law on the ban on chlorofluorocarbon. And effluent regulation on zinc is included in 201, etc. And we have got the new schedule waste regulations 2005. The first one was in 1989, and then there's a new effluent regulation in 2009. The first one was in 1979. All right, and the Clean Air Regulations Amendment, a new regulation, totally new, 2014, replacing the old one, which is in 1978. These are the milestones. It is add-on or amended in accordance with the flow of development of the country. The growth of the country involves growth of industries, input of high-tech, and perhaps new types of parameters are involved in any of the pollutants, so the law keep up with those development. And here we are, we have, so this law is designed to manage or administer environmental pollution, basically in two concepts or in two mechanisms. Number one, is restriction, and number 2 is prohibition. What does it mean? This law contains regulations, or some people call it subsidiary provisions. We call it regulations or order, which is mechanized to help those respective agencies to enforce this particular law. So these provisions, some of them contains restriction. What does it mean? Restriction here in simple term means we can pollute. We can pollute, yes, but not exceeding the permitted limits, not exceeding the regulated concentration or loading or flow rate, or even for respective the various environmental parameters, not exceeding what is allowed for them to be discharged out into the air or released onto inland water systems. For instance, we are allowed to discharge effluent, okay, but to a certain limit. For example, let's take one parameter of industrial effluent, say COD. What is COD? It's not cash on delivery. COD is chemical oxygen demand, whereby in this law called Effluent Regulation 2009, you can browse through, just click to my channel, the law is there already published. COD is allowed up to, in most types of factory, there are standards over there, there are classification, up to 200 milligram per liter at any time. So that is pollutant which is allowed to be discharged, and even the flow rate is regulated for every industrial discharges. So that is called restriction. Another example is perhaps, okay, we can discharge dark smoke, okay, but not more than what, 20% opacity or Ringelmann number 1, meaning we are allowed to discharge dark smoke of any color, but not exceeding Ringelmann is a German term, Ringelmann chart 1, or 20% opacity. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those are in the clean air regulation. You can take a look. You can browse through this channel and take a look at CAR 2014. Just type that. You'll find the clean air regulations. Those are restrictions. Or, for example, we have got toxic and hazardous waste called a scheduled waste in this country. We can store as many scheduled waste in our factory as we could, but not more than 20 metric ton at any time, or more than 6 months, 180 days. Those are samples of restriction. Okay, so those various subsidiary regulations are designed using these two concepts or principles. I think principle is a better word. Correct my English if I'm wrong. Another principle sounds good, isn't it? Prohibition. We are not allowed to do certain thing unless with written permission. Now it's no longer written permission, it's all written notification. For instance, we are not allowed, industries or any premises, not allowed to build or erect chimney or stack unless with prior written notification and verification by the agency. So it's not allowed. If we build, then we are exposing ourselves to legal liability, which is normally in the form of compounds or court case. Or we are not allowed to make housing development of certain acreage or hectareage unless with prior EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, approval. That's prohibition. We are not allowed to say build an oil refinery unless with EIA and permissions. Okay, we're not allowed to install a dust collector, for instance, unless with prior written notification to the agency and their respective verification or justification, you can call that. Okay, these are the two concepts that is used under the Environmental Quality Act, or in short EQA 1974 in this country. And following these video or other subsequent video, you can take a look at the EQA part 1, 2, 3, 4. We talk about the functional or provisions of the EQA, about CFC ban, about branch alkyl sulfonate bans. These are all in part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll get into the regulation where I have interpreted in detail. All right. So this is just part 1. I'm replacing the old part 1 because that is too lengthy. And this one, I want to keep it short so that you're able to understand what it is and follow on. These are all interpretation. So keep up the good work that you're doing. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. Until we meet in the next video, I wish everybody healthy, okay, prosperity. And until we meet again, I wish everyone Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.